Hi there and welcome to this very special edition of EasyCyber.net's podcast. The reason for today's episode is all about the cyber attack which happened globally yesterday and seemed to affect a huge number of machines. It's estimated that over 75,000 computers and nearly 100 countries were affected, so it was definitely well organised. It was a really well coordinated attack, given that they launched it on a Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday evening, depending on where you were globally. The assumption being that a lot of people would be going off on the weekend break, and by the time they came back into work on the Monday, then it's possible that the damage would be even greater than it was. There's a lot of conversation going on around who might be responsible for this, and current pointers are at a hackers collective called the Shadow Crew. These are the guys who a few months ago hacked into the CIA and stole a whole bunch of tools that they'd developed for covert surveillance and then released them onto the internet. So potentially they're using the same set of tools as the CIA had developed, but that's all still a little bit up in the air and not too sure. What we do know is that protecting yourself against this breach is fairly straightforward. Microsoft issued a critical patch in the middle of March. It's called MS-17-010. If your machine is set, it's a Windows machine, and if it's set to automatically update, chances are you're already protected. If you don't have that, install all your updates as quickly as possible, reboot your machine, and you should be protected. If you're connected to a network, you might need to talk to your network administrators and make sure that they've got the SMB protocol disabled where it's not necessary. In some cases it's just left running and it's really not necessary. Also worth having a look to make sure the RDP protocol is not external facing out onto the internet, so have a chat with your web admins about that. Other ways of protecting yourself are to make sure that any backups that you take, that your backup systems are offline, i.e. not connected to your computer, because if they are connected when your machine gets infected, then they'll also become infected and you won't be able to restore your data. It's also a good idea to make sure that you've got any disaster recovery and backup business continuity plans, that you know where they are, you know who to contact, you know where to go, and you know what you need to do. So just make sure that you've got them to hand, that you've got contact details ready, etc. But it's probably not as bad as it sounds. I know that a lot of businesses have been shutting down systems as a precaution, and the main reason for that is they didn't know quite how to protect themselves. They didn't know when a fix would be available for this, for the machines which are infected. And as a result, the safest thing to do is to shut everything down until you've got a fix available, apply the fix as you bring things back up. So that's one reason why I think the effect has been quite so bad and quite so widespread, but it's probably not quite as bad as it sounds. It's a lot of disruption, it's an awful lot of hard work for a lot of people, but it is containable, and I'm pretty sure that within the next few days we'll see that most things get back to normal. So talking about getting back to normal, episode 4 of this podcast will be available very shortly. Keep an eye out for it. I'll post details here on EasyCyber.net, and hope to see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.